All right, let's talk about the single most feared card in the entire tarot deck. And no, I'm not talking about death. I'm talking about the Tower. Today, we're going to dismantle that fear. We're going to look right past all that chaos and see how its destructive power is actually, a necessary force for renewal.
So think about it. You're doing a reading, you're flipping cards, and then there it is. What's the one card that makes your heart just sink? A lot of people might say the Death card, but for anyone who's been around the deck for a while, the real answer is the Tower. That's the one that tells you to brace for impact.
And it's not hard to see why, right? A Tower moment feels, catastrophic. It really is like a bomb going off, just completely upending everything you thought was stable and secure. But our goal here today is to look past that initial explosion and see what's actually revealed in the aftermath. So here's our game plan. We'll start with the core meaning of this, let's call it an unavoidable storm. Then we'll unpack what it means upright versus reversed, see how it actually applies to your life, and finally really get to the heart of its ultimate message, moving from total ruin to renewal. Okay, so at its very heart, the Tower represents chaos, plain and simple. But, and this is so important, you have to understand that this is chaos with a purpose. This isn't just random destruction, it's more like a targeted strike. So yeah, the Tower means massive, sudden, and frankly pretty scary change. But here's the key. This destruction is always aimed at things built on false beliefs or shaky foundations. I want you to think of it like a cosmic demolition crew, okay? They're there to clear out a condemned building so you can make way for something true and solid. So when the Tower shows up upright in a reading, it's basically a sign that the walls are coming down, and it doesn't matter if you're ready or not. This is not some gentle nudge from the universe. It is a fundamental, life-altering shift that is happening right now. And look, there's just no way to sugarcoat the upright Tower. The experience is intense. It's upheaval. It's painful revelations. This isn't a minor setback. We're talking about a foundational shakeup that can show up as huge life events, a sudden divorce, a shocking job loss, a financial crisis. It's the big stuff. But, and this is the most crucial point to remember about this whole card, this is not the end of the story. It is a painful but absolutely necessary clearing of the slate. The destruction the Tower brings is always followed by renewal and creation. It's kind of like a forest fire, right? It's terrifying, but it's what makes new growth possible.
So what happens when you pull the card reversed? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. The focus shifts from some external event that's happening to you to an internal conflict. It becomes about a choice that you have to make.
The reversed Tower puts you at a fork in the road. On one path, it could mean you've successfully averted a disaster. Phew, you saw the cracks in the foundation and you fixed them just in time. But honestly, more often than not, it means you're actively trying to delay the inevitable. You're trying to patch up a building that really needs to be torn down, and just prolonging that struggle only makes the eventual collapse that much worse. Ultimately, the message here is that running from this necessary change, it's just not going to work. You might think you're avoiding pain, but really, you're just preventing yourself from ever moving on. Confronting what's broken is the only path that truly leads to a new, more stable beginning.
Okay, so how does all this dramatic energy actually show up in our day-to-day lives? Let's get real for a minute and look at what the Tower actually means for your love life, your career, and your health.
You can see the pattern here, right? It's the difference between facing a crisis head-on and just running from it. In love, the upright Tower is that sudden, shocking breakup. Reversed, it's you knowing deep down it's over but delaying the painful conversation. In your career, upright is a layoff out of nowhere. Reversed is clinging to a job you know is a dead end. And in health, it's the difference between a sudden diagnosis and consciously ignoring all the warning signs your body is screaming at you. The end result is often the same, but the reversed path just adds a whole lot of prolonged suffering. And that brings us to the ultimate lesson of this incredibly powerful card. It's not just about surviving a storm, it's about finally understanding why the storm had to happen in the first place. Let's use a little metaphor here to really get it. I want you to picture a house. You believe this is your forever home. It's solid, it's secure. This house, it represents a core belief you have, a relationship, a career path, one of the foundational structures of your entire life. And then the Tower event happens. It's the lightning strike. It's the earthquake. It's the storm that completely, utterly reduces that house to a pile of rubble. Everything you thought was safe, everything you thought was permanent is just gone in an instant.
And in the shock and the grief of that moment, you look down at the wreckage, and you finally see it. The truth. The foundations, they were always cracked. They were built on sand, on a false belief, on something that was never going to last. The structure was doomed from the start. The storm didn't create the weakness, it just revealed it.
And that, right there, is the gift of the tower. Because while the loss is so real and so painful, from that rubble, you're given this profound opportunity. You now have the chance to rebuild. And not the same flawed house, but something new, something better, something built on a foundation of truth and authenticity.
So you see, in the end, the tower isn't a prediction of doom. It's really an invitation to be radically honest with yourself. So I'll just leave you with this question. What structures in your life are you protecting, even though you know deep down they're built on shaky ground? What false foundations is the tower challenging you to finally see?